Hey everybody, welcome to the second half of chapter 12. Again, I am deviating from what the book's doing, but hitting everything that needs to be hit for the keystones, for the Algebra 1 keystones. So 12.4 in the book might be box and whisker plots. To be honest with you, I really don't know. But the important thing is that today I teach you how to find what I call important values of data. So here we go. We need to be able to calculate. Today we're just going to work on the calculating part, the range, the quartile values, and the interquartile value ranges. And in order to do that, I have, I think, 4 examples because every example is going to be unique. Now, I'm at home right now. My dog's outside, so we live in a neighborhood, so I need to make sure she's not barking at everybody. So if I randomly leave, it's because I have to go get my dog. All right. Find the mean, the median, the mode, the low, the high, the range, the quartile 1, the quartile 2. Oh my goodness gracious, that sounds overwhelming. And the interquartile ranges. And here we go. So we're going to start talking about data sets. This particular example, again, this is nothing probably even similar to what you do now. This book was written a while ago. But let's say this is how many text messages were sent per different students in one day. So, somebody sent 17. Somebody sent 3, somebody sent 1, 30, 11, 7, 1, 5, 2, so on and so forth. So when we have to organize data, it's really important that we put it in order. So you have to find the lowest value, which if you look through the list, I have a 0. I think if you look through the list, there's another 0. I know there's a few ones. Let's count the ones. 1, 2, 3. And unlike when you have an XY chart, you list them more than once. You list them as many times as you have them. You're just organizing the different data sets. Now for 2s, let's see. 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 2s. Well, let's find the 3s. 1. There's only a single 3. I don't see any 4s. I do see a 5. 6, 7. I do see a 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, I see a 13. I'm going to move that 11 just kind of a little more over so it looks separate. You can put commas in between them if you want. Okay, so there was that 13. I think 17. Just going through them slowly. What's next? I think 21 is next. And then I think 22. And then 27. I don't want to miss any because I don't want to have to redo this. I see 30. 39. 41. 49. Okay, I'm just going to double check, make sure I have them all. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Good, I have them all. That's important. All right, now I'm going to walk you through how to, once they're in order, you can finally do the problem. Okay, so we need to identify the low and the high number. So the low number is a 0 and the high number is a 49. Hopefully that wasn't too hard for you to find. The range is how far spread out your data is. So you take your highest number, which is 49, and you subtract your lowest number, which is 0. So the range is 49. The median is the middle number. Now, in this example, there is a middle number. If there wasn't, you would have to add them together and divide by 2 because you find their average between them. But there is actually a middle number. So let's go ahead and find it. I'm going to use pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers from the right. The median is 7. This is also what they call your quartile 2 number. And what we do is we kind of use that and we kind of put a line through it. So if it was the middle of a number, we'd put a line through that. That means there are 10 data points over here and 10 data points over here. I'm going to actually write items. No, I'm going to write the real word. I'm going to write data. There's 10 pieces of data over here, and there's 10 pieces of data over here. Data, I don't care. Now, the quartile 1, we have to go back to the middle, and we have to find the middle of the first half. So remember how we just split it in half? We have to find the middle of that half, and if there isn't a distinct middle, add your middle ones together and divide by 2. So let's focus on this first half. Notice how I am going to get rid of my, remember how this was my median? Or my quartile 2? You don't include that. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to like block it out so I just see my first half. There are 10 items here. I'll change my color to purple. Okay, I'm going to do 2 from the left, 1, 2, 2 from the right, 1, 2. 1 from the left, 1, 1 from the right, 1. 1 from the left, 1, 1 from the right, 1. Please notice that I end up with 2 middle numbers. Okay? So since I don't have a distinct middle number, I have to add them together, 1 plus 2, and divide that answer by 2. So that makes 3 over 2, which makes 1.5. 1.5 is my quartile 2. I'm going to shrink this down super duper small. I'll try to not get that thing. Let me try again. There we go. I'm going to shrink that down super duper small. And that is my quartile 1 value. So I'll write Q1, and I'll draw a line to what my Q1 was. So it's 1.5. So I got that by doing 1 plus 2 divided by 2, which was 3 over 2. Don't type that in the calculator at once. If you type this in the calculator without parentheses, you won't get it right, which is 1.5. So my quartile 1, that should have a 1 after it, is 1.5. Now we're going to need to do that again. We need to find quartile 3. Quartile 3 is the middle of the second half. Oh, I should have wrote the word half. I also don't see my dog anymore, so I might have to go grab her. If you don't have a clear-cut middle, which you won't this time, you're going to add your middle numbers up and divide by 2. So I'm going to take, just like I did last time, I'm going to take, actually I'll do 3 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 1, and these are my middle ones. So if you remember, I told you to add them up when you have 2 and divide by 2. 22 plus 27 divided by 2. That's going to be 49 divided by 2, which is 28.5. Yeah, because 20 and 6. Nope, that's wrong. Sorry, 24.5. I almost did that poorly. Okay. So your middle number is 24.5. And if you want to show your math, it was 24.5. We did that by doing, remember, we had 22, add 27, and we had to divide by 2. So we added the top first, which hence the parentheses, and then we divided by 2. Now we find our interquartile range. This is the middle 50% of where your data lies. You subtract Q3 and Q1. So you take Q3, 24.5, and you subtract Q1, which is 1.5. And I gotta go get my dog. Okay, I'm back. So 24.5 minus 1.5 is just 23. So your interquartile range is 23 units. The mean, you add them all together, and then you divide by how many data items there are. So I'm going to definitely have to call upon my calculator here. I'm going to go really slow. So I need to add all these items together. Now I can use the list I made, or I could just use the beginning list. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to use the beginning list because it's more condensed. Okay, so I'm going to do 17, add 3, add 1, add 30, add 11, add 7, add 1, 5, and 2, add 39 and 22. I missed a plus sign in front of my 39. Where am I? Uh-oh. Oh dear. Okay, add, so after 22, 13, 2, and 0, 13, 2, and 0. I know I don't need the 0. 21, 1, and 49. 21, 1, and 49. 21, 41, and 27. and 2 and 0. And again, I know I don't need the 0. So I have 294. And hopefully I did that right. In class, it's nice because we'll be checking each other. So when I added them all together, I ended up getting 294. And I already counted at the beginning of the problem. There were 21 items total. So there's 21 data items at the beginning. So that's why I'm dividing by 21. So divide by 21. And there it is. So I had 294, which was my summation, divided by 21. My mean or my average is 14. And my mode is the one that occurred the most. So let's see up here. I really think it was 1. Wasn't 1? I think 1 and 2, right? There's 3 1s and there's 3 2s. That means I have 2 modes. It's called bimodal. So 1 happened the most and 2 happened the most. They each happen 3 times. So this is bimodal. So both of them are your modes. Okay, now we're going to do that again, but I'm going to give you different examples of different types of data. So like one could have 21 and one could have 15. So I made one of each type. So in order, what are we looking at? Raisins that have those weights. Raisins, and there's 10 boxes. Okay, so the lowest. Notice the chart is gone because we're going to just try to do it ourselves, okay? So I see 25, I think, is the lowest. Oh my gosh, are these in order for us? Yes, they are in order. Yay. I'm just going to write done. Oh, it's so nice when they're in order. Yay. Okay, good. That'll be so nice. So the low is just 25 and the high is 38. So nice when it's in order. Okay, remember Q2, that's where you find your middle number for median and Q2. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Oh, and look, I have 2 middle numbers. So I have to do 30 plus 34 divided by 2, 30 plus 34 divided by 2 after you hit enter. So that was 64 divided by 2, which is 32. So my quartile 2 ends up being 32. And now what you need to do is you need to draw a line through that quartile 2. So it's going to split right here. Notice I didn't cross off 30 and I didn't cross off 34 because they weren't part of my quartile 2. I just had to average them. So I had to cross off 32, which is way down in the list, okay? In fact, what I'll do is I'll change that color. That way you know anything that's maybe red was involving your quartile 2. All right, except for that box. All right, now what we need to do is find our quartile 1. So I'm going to zoom like this. I'm just going to find the first half, the middle of my first half. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2. The middle is 29. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, okay? So 1 and 2, 1 and 2. The middle is 35. So the interquartile range is 35. It's Q3. Take away Q1, minus 29. And that's an interquartile range. The middle 50% it ranges only within 6 of each other. Oh, the overall range is 38 minus 25, which is a 13 range. So the highest weight minus the lowest weight means that the weights range, and I guess we could even put like grams. The range is a 13 gram range for the box of raisins. Okay, the mean, I need to add them all up. So 25 add 28 add 29 add 29 add 30 add 34 add 35 2 times add 37 and add 38. Okay, so it's 320 divided by 10 items they told me, so that's 32. That's the average weight of the box of raisins. I could even write the word grams. The one is the mode is the one that happens the most. So I saw that 29 and 35 happen twice. So they're both the mode. It is allowed to be bimodal. And that's everything. Now tomorrow we're going to use these numbers to more explore and explain them. But today we're just going to look at it. So that wasn't horrible. At least it was nice that Q1 and Q3 had clear-cut ones. What are we here? A city hospital tracked down how many patients visited over 11 days. Okay. So I purposely did a certain number of each. So I have order is 4. Darn it, it's not in order. 8 and 9. 14 and 15. Just be careful, get in order. 16. I did miss 7, didn't I? All right, so thankfully I have notability, so I can just wedge that 7 in right here. I did 16, but I don't think I crossed 16 off, right? Yeah. Okay, and then I see a 20 and a 21. And then I see a 22 and a 24. I'm going to make sure that's 11. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I got all 11. I got to close the back door. Hold on. It's always fun here at the Lane Jelly House. How about that? All right, now find the low. I love finding the low and high because it's just like the lowest number and the highest number. The range is the subtraction of those ones. So we're going to say it goes, how much of a range is 24 to 4? And it ranges at 24. What are we at? We're at patience, huh? How many? That's the difference of the lowest and the highest. Okay, now find the middle or the median. So I have 11. 11 is going to have a clear-cut number. So what I'm going to do is just going to boom, 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 5, boom, 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 5. It has a clear-cut middle in the data set, which is 15. That's your Q2. So that's the middle number. Quartile 1 is the middle of the first half. So remember, you don't include quartile 2 when you split it up. Okay, so since quartile 2 is in your data set, you don't include that 15. So I'm going to do 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Yes, there's also a clear cut quartile 1. And then that's going to happen here too. Notice I don't include the 15. Sorry, I must have undone something. Okay. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, clean cut 21. I love it when you don't have to find the average of all of them. The interquartile range, remember, that's the middle 50%. So like the middle 50% of the data fits between 21, and 8. So when you subtract those, that's a difference of 13. So the middle 50% only differs by 13 patients. Now for the mean. Okay, I'm just going to go up to my original because it's easier to read. Okay, I'm just going to do these ones right here. You can do the list you made. 4, add 16. Add 24, add 21, add 7, add 22, add 8, add 9, add 14, add 15, add 20. So I have a summation of 160. And I have to divide by how many patients I had. I had 11. And that's going to be a 14.5, which doesn't make a ton of sense because it's people. But because we're talking about data, we're just going to leave it as a decimal. And the mode is the one that happened the most. Let's see. I have absolutely no repeats, so you're just going to write no mode. Nothing repeated. It doesn't mean all of them the mode. There's no mode. All right, example 4. Last one, okay? A soccer team logged the number of games that they won over 12 seasons. So this represents 12 different seasons and the games that they won in those seasons. And of course, not an error. Oh my gosh. Oh, that poor team. They had a game. They had a season where they only won 1 game. I shouldn't laugh. That's not nice. That's really sad, actually. Then 4, 9, getting better. 11. Oh, I missed a 10, didn't I? A 14, a 16, 19, 20 and 21, 23 and 24. There you go. Okay. There, those are pretty clean cut. The low is 1, the high is 24, and the range is 23. Because it was 24, take away 1. The middle number, let's see if it's clean cut or if we have to work for it. I think this one I made the hardest one. I think we have to work for all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Middle 2 is 14 plus 16 because there wasn't like a clean cut. I wanted to divide that by 2. 14, add 16, divide by 2 is 15. So, because it ended up, just so you guys know, it was 30 divided by 2. And, you know, silly me. I should have been able to do that. I know the middle of 14 and 16 is 15. That was kind of funny for me to do. All right, now, remember to find quartile 1. You just cross off quartile 2, which just happens to be the 15. Do not cross off the 14 or 16 because they weren't part of your quartile. They made your quartile 2, but they weren't your quartile 2. So now I'll just change colors because it gets kind of weird here. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Okay, 2 middle numbers here. So for quartile 1, I'll need to do 9 plus 10 and divide by 2. It's going to be 9.5, but just in case you don't believe me, there you go. It's 9.5. So that's the middle of the first half. We call that quartile 1. Now we need to do the same thing for the second half. So there it is. I do use the 16. 1, 2, 1, 2, middle, 2. You do 20 plus 21 divided by 2, which I think you might know is 20 and a half. And if you don't know, I mean, it's here. 20 plus 21 divided by 2. Please don't do it in one step. Will you look at that? Look how that doesn't give you the right answer. Because what it's doing is only dividing the 21 in half. If you absolutely must use one step, then I guess you must absolutely use parentheses. Okay? But yeah, you should know that 30 and a half is not the middle of 20 and 21. So either A, use parentheses, or B, do it in 2 steps. Okay, now the mean. Ugh. I like using the original list just because it's not my messy handwriting. Okay, here we go. 10, add 21, add 14, add 19, add 4, add 23, add, that's my fridge. I just put the kids on, put my daughter on the bus too. Okay, so 172 is the summation. Divided by, I think I had 12 data sets. Yeah, there was 12 seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I really hope I added them all in there. I'll know. Hey, if I made a mistake, feel free to tell me. Just so you know, I'm probably not going to fix my video, though. And let's see, what is that? 14.3. All right, now the mode is the one that happened the most. None. I didn't see any repeats. This is what happens when you don't make an answer key beforehand. There is no mode. Yay. Okay, I like it when there's no mode. It makes it easier. So today, your goal is if you were able to find the low and you're able to find the high and the range. And did I do the I didn't do the interquartile range. Oh, no. Take Q3 and subtract Q1. So, I'm sorry, 20.59. Very much of a squirrel moment right there, wasn't it? Okay, so the middle 50% was a spread of 11. Okay, so your goal today was to be able to find those values. Tomorrow, I'm going to teach you, okay, what do those values mean? What do we do with them? So today is just like kind of the skeleton, the framework, and then tomorrow we'll use it. But again, our lesson wouldn't be complete if we didn't have some type of review. All right, guys, slope. You should not pass Algebra 1 if you can't find slope. That's all there is. And you won't pass the keystones if you can't find slope. So here it is. Let's take some time and review. I pulled that directly from the keystone formula sheet. Remember, this is x and y and x and y. I don't care if you do those ones minus that or those ones minus that. Just stay consistent, okay? So your slope is equal to, notice how I set it up like that all the time. I draw a fraction bar with two minus signs. I always, it really doesn't matter. I'll just do 3 take away 5. 3 take away 5. And now I will do 2 take away negative 4. 2 take away negative 4. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. 2 take away negative 4 is 6. Math enter is negative 1/3 for a slope. Do not use decimals for slope unless it is a word problem. I'm going to grab the calculator. It's clearly I'm struggling. That way you remember, I show you 3 minus 5. I can show you 2 minus negative 4. In case you struggle, negative 2 divided by 6, math, enter. And you will have my calculators or the school calculators for your keystone. So please make sure you understand how to use them. Okay, so this one is boom, boom, boom. I always set it up like that. 3, take away 3. Negative 2, take away 2. That's going to be 0 over negative 2, take away 2 is not 0. It's negative 4 on the bottom. But 0 divided by negative 4 is, in fact, 0 itself. A 0 slope would look like this on a graph. Just so you know, a negative 1/3 slope would look like this on a graph. down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3. Now let's try again. I did one of each type of slope on here, okay? -3, take away -4. And then 8, take away -2. So that boom, boom, turns into a +1 over a +10, which does not reduce. If you want to check it out, though, I mean, like, that's why they have those features for you there. That would be a positive line going up 1, right 10, up 1, right 10. Again, you can do 3 minus -4 like that. Sorry, I was like, I did it wrong. -3 minus -4. There you go, which is where I got that +1 from. All right. I would highly encourage you to as well, just to use your calculator in case you mess up your signs. Maybe it's a different year, but like the kids that I currently have right now, you guys just like guess with your positives and the negatives. And there's no reason to guess. If you have a calculator to like say your answer, like check your answer before you say it. I mean, definitely on the keystones. Please don't just like, oh, I think that's -4, when in fact it could be like, 10. So please use your calculators. All right, so we're going to do 0, take away 7. And 6, take away 6. So it's -7 over 0. But as you probably remember, you can't divide by 0. So this is what we call a no slope. But I'm going to guess the keystones won't call it a no slope. We tend to call it undefined. That's what I usually list it as. It's undefined. It's like a line you can't walk on. In other words, it has no run. It only has a rise or a rise or a fall. It does not have a run. Okay, and that is it. Like, and you could plot those points even and prove that if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that for you right now. All right, so we did our data points, and then we reviewed some slope. Your homework will do the same thing.